After a very early start, we were well on our way across the notorious Bay of Biscay. Initially, we were heading south to Bilbao. It's about 160 miles away. But after hearing of another orca attack on a sailboat there, Chip decided to head further west. This made the journey distance well over 200 miles. The Bay of Biscay presents many challenges to sailors and has huge Atlantic swells, strong shifting winds, and the potential for sudden storms. It is an extremely volatile area. We had spent 2 extra days in France waiting out bad weather that had brought in strong winds and electric storms. We hoped we would not encounter any bad weather and that we would only need to spend 1 night at sea. A few days before, I'd fallen off my bike while cycling in Bordeaux, and I was really struggling with the pain of this broken rib I sustained. Every movement was excruciating. Poor Chip had to do everything.
Nature's mind, the depth below, a mystery unknown, hiding tales that have never been shown. The seas embrace, a warm and cold, a world of wonder to behold. The depth below, a mystery unknown, hiding tales that have never been shown. The seas embrace, both warm and cold, a world of wonder to behold, to behold, to
Just as well, Chip has a good sense of balance.
In this case, I noticed the halyard had become tangled around the jib furler at the top of the mast, and I'm just kind of straightening it out.
We were joined by some common dolphins for a while, but we were keeping our eyes peeled for orcas. We hoped that they would not be this far out. Often we thought we had spotted large fins, but the sea plays tricks on your mind.
We're at the edge of the cliff now, and we're going across it at 130 meters now. And pretty quick decline in depth here. So 135, it's going down as we speak. Hopefully the ocean state gets a little better when we get in this deeper water. It's looking better. We'll see. Time will tell.
Do you feel optimistic, Chip?
Always optimistic. I'm an optimist. My glass is always half full.
At one point, I took the helm, and because of my broken rib, I was shuffling along the bench seat to do so. Suddenly, the jib started flapping furiously, and the sheets were flying around all over. I had managed to detach the sheet as I shuffled along the bench. A bit of drama, but Chip quickly wrapped it up around and winched it in. But then we heard more violent sail noises. Our spinnaker had become unravelled. This was becoming a very hazardous situation. Chip, bless him, got his lifeline on and went to the front of the boat to sort out this mess, and did an emergency dump of the spinnaker through the front hatch of our boat. I was really nervous watching him because just a sudden gust of wind and the spinnaker would unfurl and a ship would be gone into the ocean. We got very worried when we saw this weather system approaching, but fortunately the worst of it passed us by. When night came, we took turns at the helm. Chip went down below deck to go to sleep, but just 20 minutes after, the weather went berserk. The winds picked up to 37 knots and from a different direction. The boat stalled and she lunged wildly in the high waves. Eventually we reset the sails with more reefs in and Chip went back to bed. The rest of the night the winds either blew at 30 knots and more or dropped altogether, and with the reef sails we dropped our speeds then to 2 to 3 knots. Unfortunately, our camera doesn't take very good nighttime shots, but we had a beautiful view of the Milky Way.
We've been at sea since 5 o'clock yesterday morning, and we're going to get in around 10 o'clock tonight. We've gone around 200 nautical miles, I'd say, maybe a little more. We'll find out later on when we do the math. And well,
What's it been like crossing the Bay of Biscay?
Bay of Biscay is like a crunchy candy. It's like crunchy on the outside and smooth in the middle. So in the deep parts, it was pretty smooth sailing. And actually, it's not too bad here, but we do get these big rollers on both sides of the Bay of Biscay. And it was a rocky ride, for sure. And lots of high winds, variable winds, lots of variable winds and some rain. The variable winds all day, basically.
We had a bit of drama, didn't we?
Oh yeah, some dummy left the spinnaker up. Somehow it got uncurled and what, 20-mile-an-hour winds or something. A little bit of fun getting that down. Untangled later. Up. This is technically the wrong flag. The Marine Spanish flag does not have an emblem in it, which I learned after someone told me this one. That's what we got, though. With the hand, too.
And here we are, just about to arrive in Spain.
We ended up towing that vessel into the harbor, but they got the last mooring ball in the harbor, so we had to cruise on down to Plan B anchorage, which turned out to be a terrible anchorage. And Sue let me sleep for a little while she was on boat watch. Then I got up, and here we are at sunrise, heading for Gijon, Spain. We always try to have a Plan B. In this case, our Plan B was one terrible anchorage. Lesson learned. After 54 hours, approximately, of sailing, Sue and I were pretty tired and ready for a good early morning nap, arriving in Gijon about 10 a.m. And, all in all, wasn't a bad passage. The end with the sailboat taking our spot and having to go to a bad anchorage for a few hours could have lived without that. But not bad, all things considered. And we get to Gijon, have a nice berth, and one of the sensations you have when you've been in a really rocky sail is when you walk on land, everything feels like it's moving, even though it isn't. We call it land sickness. I don't know what the medical term is for it, some kind of equilibrium problem that comes from sailing. But we had a pretty rocky trip, and you can see me walking funny down the dock after we arrive in Gijon. And, it's the way it is. We've learned to live with it. It happens every now and then, and you get used to it.